Happy Saturday, homespun friends. I thought I would come along and show you the herbs that I'm getting ready to plant in case any of you would like to plant an herb garden and maybe you want to know a little more about herbs or you just want to see what I am doing. These are 8 herbs that I'm planting for today. I do plan on getting a few more, but these are the ones that I'm going to be putting in today. Now, I have looked out into the forecast, and for the next 11 or 12 days, there is no really cold weather, no freezes or frosts or anything like that. So we are hoping that it's going to be perfectly safe to get these in pots today, and also probably transplant our lettuce and a few other things into our raised bed garden. Because if there was a frost, we could always go out and put a sheet over it. As long as it's not a really hard freeze, then we should be okay. Now here I have rosemary. It's probably one of my favorite scents. I love the smell. Matter of fact, when I put this in my car to bring it home, my entire car smells like rosemary. It just is a wonderful scent. And so I'm going to plant the rosemary along with this lavender. Now this year I would really like to make some essential oil out of the lavender. Have any of you ever done that? Because I haven't. And I've watched a couple videos about how to make essential oils, but I'm still a novice at this. I really have never had a lot of experience before with it. So just let me know if you have done it. I would really like some tips. And I use the lavender primarily at home in my homemade laundry detergent. When I make my homemade laundry detergent, I like to put lavender in there. So I would just like to give that a try and see if I can do it. And then there's 2 types of oregano here. This is the hot and spicy. I did not know they made a hot and spicy oregano. This is the first year I have seen this. And I am by no means an herbal expert, so it may have been around for a really long time. I'm sure it has, but it's just not been available where I am. So, but it does smell spicy. So when you rub the leaves, you can smell the heat. And then also I have this Greek oregano. Now these particular plants like a little bit of drier soil, and so I'm going to be planting them together. Now my hope is to get some thyme, and thyme also is one of those plants that probably could go with these herbs. And I also want to get basil, and it could go with this as well. So these are some extra things I'm wanting to add to these herbs. Over here I have some peppermint. Now peppermint is one of those plants, as you can see how it's just taking over the edge of this little pot. It likes to spread. It's going to spread out quite a bit, and it likes to run. And so peppermint, or any type of mint, really needs to be planted mostly by itself. Now I really want to get some lemon thyme, and lemon thyme works well with peppermint or spearmint. So if you want to plant the lemon thyme together with the mint, then you should be okay in doing that. But you don't even want to plant 2 mints together. Like you would not want to plant a spearmint or a sweet mint with the peppermint. You want to keep all of your mints in separate containers. Now I have one long window box, and I'm going to be planting this peppermint there, and I would like to get some spearmint. I would really like to get some, but we'll see how that goes. And then here are 3 other herbs that I will be planting together. Now this is the cilantro. It's looking a little bit weak right now. It looked this way, maybe a little bit worse when I purchased it, but it had been sitting outside and the temperatures at night had been around freezing, and I think this plant just needs a lot of sunshine and some warmth, and it'll pep right up. And I love cilantro. It's one of my favorites. My husband makes the best guacamole ever, and so we will be using cilantro in that. And then here are the onion chives. I really love chives. One of my first videos that I did last year was about how to make chive blossom butter. And I put too many chive blossoms in it last year for it to be the optimal flavor. I think I really just made it too pungent. So I need to cut back on the blossoms a little bit. Because what happens is right at first when you make the butter, you don't taste it so much. But once it is sat in the refrigerator for a week or 2, then it's overwhelming, the amount of chive blossoms that I put in there. So I really just need to cut back on that. And I'm still learning what to do. So I will be trying to make some more chive blossom butter. If you have tried that, I would just like to know how you like the taste of it. It's really, really good, but you have to have just the right amount of the chive blossoms in it, I think. I just don't want it to be too strong. And then I also have some dill. I love nothing better than fresh dill. So I'm going to be planting these 3 together. And I think they like a little moisture soil, so we'll be putting those together. Now another type of herb that I would like to get is parsley. I don't use parsley quite that often, and parsley only lives for 2 years at best. And so what you could do if you have a lot of parsley is you could simply dry it. You could dry it in the oven or the microwave. I have done that before with my rosemary. It works out really well. I also, what else is that I'm wanting to get? I'm looking at my list here, friends. I want to get some sage. It would also go with these as well as the thyme. And I would like to find some lemon verbena. I don't know how many of you have ever seen or planted lemon verbena, but it is just one of my favorite scents. It's probably even more of a favorite than rosemary. And I have a difficult time finding it here. I would like to get it, and I would like to make some essential oil out of that as well. So if you know where I can find it, let me know. And so I think these are primarily the ones that I'm going to be planting, and I'm getting ready to go outside right now and put them in the pots, and I will show you that finished product when I'm done. So here I am, I'm on the back patio, and this is where I am planting my peppermint. And when I get my lemon thyme, I will plant it also right here. I'm not sure if this spot will be suitable for the peppermint long term. As the summer comes and it starts getting really hot during the day, this patio takes direct sunlight for most of the afternoon. It may get too hot for the peppermint right here. I'm just not sure. But we're going to play it by ear, and if it does get too hot, we see the peppermint is in distress, then we will just simply move this to another location where it'll get some afternoon shade. So now I'm going to move over here to my little galvanized bucket, and I'm going to plant the herbs that I have for that container. So here's where I'm going to be planting the herbs that like a little bit drier soil. And this is just an old galvanized bucket that was going to be thrown in the trash. And we saved it. My husband drilled holes in the bottom, and then we layered just some little tiny river pebbles in the bottom of it to give it some good drainage. We filled it with some really nice soil, and this is where we plant some of our herbs. So you can really use any kind of container that you want to, except I would not use plastic. If you are rubber, like an old tire, because when the sun heats up and you plant those herbs in a plastic bin or in like an old tire, of the fuels and things that are used to make those components, it can leach into the food that you're eating, and you just want to avoid that if at all possible. So here I go. I'm going to plant these. I love these nice biodegradable pots that the herbs come in. You can just simply plant the whole pot. Just take that little plastic piece off and plant the whole pot in the dirt. And I always keep the little tag that comes with the herb, the little stake. I always keep that with the herb so that I can remember what type it is, and also if there's ever a question, I can look on the back of it for more information. So I just try to keep that little stake with each herb individually. Now here is my tin bucket where I have planted my cilantro, my dill, and chives. This pot is not quite as big as the pot that I showed you before, but I got this pot on a clearance. It had originally been $40, and I got it for 10 bucks. And so we did the same thing. We just drilled some holes in the bottom, put some river pebbles down there, filled it with some good soil, and now it's going to be an herb pot. So there you have it, friends. That is how I'm spending my Saturday. I've had so much fun working around with my herbs and just being outside in the beauty of God's earth. What about you? What are you doing with your Saturday? I would like to know if you're planning to have an herb garden this summer and what you do with your herbs. You know, there is so much that I have yet to learn about herbs, not only for cooking, but you can use herbs for medicinal purposes. I do know this, that when God created the earth, He gave us everything that He knew we would need. And that's reason enough for all of us to learn more about the meaningful use of herbs. I look forward to seeing you next time, friends. Bye-bye.